Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper, and today I have a journal that it's on Etsy now, but I recovered it because I got some requests for adding lace to it. So this is what I've done. It is back on Etsy now, and this has about 4 different kinds of vintage lace and fabric. So this is a vintage doily. It was a huge doily that I cut down, and underneath is a vintage antique book page. And then on the front here, I have a different kind of crocheted. It was a long trim that was at the bottom of an antique curtain. And then I have some more vintage doily up here, a different kind, and then some lace down here and some trim down the sides and some lace tie. So it's very frilly and I quite love it. And inside we have all this wonderful antique ephemera that's all authentic. Nothing is printed, digital, or bought. And this wonderful postcard is from 1928, handwritten to Arthur. And that is a beautiful park photograph. And it's really pretty, this one. It's actually on almost like a card stock, but not your postcard cardstock. And then it's got this beautiful sepia tone with black and white photograph. It's really cool. Usually photos were done on a glossier kind of paper. I've got a beautiful French dictionary page here and an early 1900s old Peabody Pew book page with the wonderful graphics on it. Little recipe page here, and this is from the 1800s. This is from Demerset's Family Magazine, and the images here are quite precious. Look at that. I love it. So this is a very special page there. A little bit delicate, so you'll have to be careful with that. And one of Pearl Shop's receipts, another vintage book page here that's mostly blank, and this lovely little children's book page image here that I made a pocket out of, which I just think is so sweet. There's another one of those wonderful vintage recipe pages, and you can see it is well loved, this one. Got a vintage stamp down here, and these wonderful, I'm running really low on these antique playing cards. And then I made this out of an antique book page, and I love the title, The Girl of the Island, and I cut out a little bookmark word here for dreams. And I made that pocket there, out of an antique, not just antique, but it's from the 1800s. That one is actually a German page, so it's really neat. This is when you used to buy single songs, music sheets, and this one is for Nights of Gladness. And I just think that's such a pretty title for a song. And then I made this little journaling booklet here. I would have all kinds of scrap antique ephemera. And I tucked it into a pocket also made out of an 1800s book page. And then just tucked this wonderful little vintage book page piece here. Sorry, it's really folded in half. But look at the imagery on there. Isn't that fun? Lighthouses and circuses and boats. So a really fun little journaling spot there. Another really old, actually this is also from the 1800s, the third reader. And I love that it says eclectic series because so many journalers are eclectic. Just some really wonderful clusters here that I made out of dictionary pages. And this is from a 1930 Paris, France almanac page. And this came from a history page from the 1930s, I believe 1937. And this wonderful vintage bird print here. Isn't that beautiful? And that's a hawk. And I made the pocket out of just an index card that I tea-dyed, put some clusters on there. This is also from the 1800s here, which would have been a souvenir card or an education card. And this one is from India. So it's marked postcard, so very likely it was purchased in India to be sent back home. There's one of Pearl Shop's antiques again, and that's all made inside of tucked into a pocket that I made out of a vintage doily, and a really pretty one too with the applique. So what else have we got here? There's that 1932 French almanac page, January 11 and 12, my sister's birthday. And let's see, some tea-dyed pages here I added for extra journaling space. And this is an early 1900s book about antiques, which I think is wonderful. So it's called A Dictionary of Antiques. And now it's even older, the antiques they featured in here. And just some really cool, this is from 1902, and it was about wonders of transport. And this is a lovely little image here that I've got on a paper clip. Let me pull that off. Isn't that pretty? And I just put a little journaling spot on the back there for you. You can flip that on and off, tuck it in anywhere you like. And that's on another children's book page. And this is, my sister gave me this. It's a piece of wallpaper border. We're thinking it's from the 1920s, and it looks like it was a very interesting way to paint it, but that is a painted picture on there. So I only had a little bit, so I made them into tags. They were too brittle to unroll into larger pieces. And just a wonderful little magazine pages here, bits from the 50s. And here is a great article from, this one is actually, I think, oh, it's from The Listener. So it's a British publication. It's called The Listener, and it's just a wonderful advertisement there from the 40s. Another children's book page, and just some fun cluster here. Another journaling tag that I made out of a vintage dictionary page. Another one of those great antique book pages. And look at this beautiful vintage, never been used a hanky. And it is brand new, and it was brand new in the 60s, but nobody ever used it. It came from a store where it was never purchased. Little tag here with the bird image from the dictionary. And this is a lovely little wildflower book page. I know it's pure white, but it is actually vintage from Britain. And oh, I love these geography pages. They're all about the moon. And a little children's story here from the Mother Goose book from the 1940s. And a wonderful page, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof here. And that is from the 50s, from the Theatre World magazine. And back here, I've got a Magic Garden page on the back cover that I tucked into some little 1930s Monopoly money. So you can tuck all kinds of things back there. It's a really fun book, and it's actually a really good price. So that is on Etsy now. I hope you will go visit me at etsy.hyperstamper.com. And the links are below. So subscribe now so you can see them before they hit Etsy. Thanks.